Good morning and welcome to IR Photo Tours. Ian here, and we've got some good news. We have got some good news after this. Hello, my name is Ian, and for those that are new to my channel, I discuss and review just about anything relating to photography equipment and also my favourite genre, landscape photography and travel. If you like my channel, could I ask that you consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification? Thank you very much. Right, okay, on with it then. This is the update to the Canon EOS R6 and the Canon EOS R5. So let's get right into it, shall we? This is going to be a small and pleasant little firmware upgrade, and I'll tell you all about what it's to do with right at the end of this video. But right now what I'm going to do is show you how to actually get it onto your camera and show you the settings and menus and what have you, and go from there. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so here we go into the menu of the R6, and let's show you where the firmware update or the firmware upgrade is, and we'll go through that right now. So basically you're going to turn on your camera and go through the menus with the top button. We're going to go all the way to the yellow menu, which is the spanner menu, and it'd be number 5 on the spanner menu, and number 7 right at the bottom there. We have the version 1.1.1 right now. So what we're going to do is load the SD card into the computer, and from there we will then go onto the website, which is the Canon website. So just type in Google Canon firmware update, and you should get onto the Canon EOS camera support. That should be the one. It is. There you go. Okay, so we're on this screen here, which is the Canon one. I just want to move that over so you can see it. There you go. EOS R, looking in the wrong one. So we've got EOS R6, there we go. Right, so we click onto the EOS R6. It'll take a bit of time to whirly-gig around, I don't know why. There you go, lovely job. So from this menu, we go to firmware. From that, we go to, if you're on Windows, then EOS R6 firmware update version Windows. EOS R firmware update version 1.2 macOS. So I'm on macOS, so that's what we want. Download that, click and accept, and there we have it in the bottom there. And from there, very easy, you take that out once it's loaded, and what I'm going to do is just take that out onto my desktop. Complete survey, no thank you very much, not at the moment, I'm busy. So now we have that, which is the file. So what we're going to do, double click that to open it. And then what we want now is that one. So that's what we want, the fur. Okay, so that comes out of there, so we can get rid of that now. That can go in the bin. And what we want is the EOS the SD card, which we've got here, and what we do, we're going to drag that straight into the SD card. Job done. Lovely job. So now we've got that, so we can right click, eject, and put that to one side just in case something goes wrong. Now the fur update, just one thing to make sure of, and just make sure that the megabytes on the fir update coincide with the megabytes that you've got on your file. In other words, if it's 600 megabytes, for example, on the website, make sure you've downloaded 600 megabytes in the file. We've ejected our card, and you also want to check the battery on your camera and make sure that that is fully charged, and I believe we are okay. And now what we're going to do is put the SD card into said slot. Okay, so one thing we must do before we do anything else is make sure that we format this SD card before we load the fir file onto the SD card. Turn the camera on, and we then go to the menu. Hold on, go to number 5, go to firmware. Current firmware version is 1.1.1, update firmware, there we go. So we're going to update the firmware now. Oh, here we go, it started. Starting to get worried then. Right, so we just got to wait for that bar to just load up. And once that's loaded up, we will have that large firmware update on installed onto the EOS R6. And the last little bit, 99% done. Now we've got to go to OK, just press OK. We'll do it on the button, shall we? Set is OK. So press set, and there we have it. Firmware update confirmed. What can we expect to see with this firmware update for the EOS R5 and the EOS R6? Well, let's dive on in and find out. Well, firstly, they have stopped the overheating issue, and the recording times are limitless in 8K. Nah, I can't do this to you. Sorry, I cannot lie to you. That is just a dream. None of that exists at all. Okay, the reality is that the 1.2.0 firmware upgrade, if you can call it that, is as follows. Firmware version 1.2.0 incorporates the following enhancements and fixes. 1. When using high speed or low speed continuous shooting modes in drive mode with high speed display off, the visibility of the subject within the frame has been improved when shooting moving objects. So that's pretty cool. Small firmware upgrade, but pretty cool. It works, you know, it's a fix. During continuous shooting, black frames will be inserted between frames in the viewfinder and live view. This will improve the visibility of moving subjects in live view and in the viewfinder. Now, I'm not sure about that, are you? What do you think of that? Well, Dougal thinks it's terrible, but there you go. Leave your comments down below. Number 2, adds auto setting to the viewfinder brightness menu that will brighten and dim based on ambient light conditions. Number 3, enables second curtain shooting sync during radio transmission wireless flash shooting when the Speedlight EL1 flash is attached to the camera. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I sort of gave that a bit of a pause then. Number 4, we got a number 4. Enables manual flash output, excluding high-speed sync and optical transmission wireless flash shooting, to be selected and set up to 1/8192 from the camera menu screen when the Speedlight EL1 flash is attached to the camera. Anyway, number 5, improves compatibility of HEIF images recorded in camera with the MIAF multi-image application format standards. Number 6, add support for AF and release during zoom operations for some RF and EF lenses. So yeah, firmware version 1.2.0 is for cameras with firmware up to version 1.1.1. If the camera's firmware is already version 1.2.0, it is not necessary to upgrade the firmware. Once the EOS R6 or R5 is updated to the firmware version 1.2.0 or later, it cannot be restored to the previous firmware version of 1.0.0 or 1.1.1. So bear that in mind, guys. So if you find that this firmware is not really applicable to you, then possibly don't upgrade. Yeah, what can I say? The following applications have been updated accordingly: Digital Photo Professional 4.13.10, EOS Utility 3.13.10, Camera Connect 2.7.20, Digital Photo Professional Express 1.4.0. Please download applications as well as the latest firmware. Okay, so that's your advisory note from Canon itself. So basically that is it, guys. That is your firmware for the Canon EOS R5 and the EOS R6 to date. What can I say? Are you disappointed? I kind of am. Not a lot there really, not anything significant, is there? The overheating issues are still there, and the time limits for video are still there too, unless you put an external monitor on, as we all know. And I've been saying that for a very long time. A few videos back, there's one there. External monitor, you won't get any overheating issues, and you can record for as long as you like, really. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. It has been a lovely old job.